In the distant reaches of the Imperium, across countless worlds settled by the descendants of Terra's pioneers, there existed a proud and noble tradition, a culture based on honor and martial prowess. And these world strongholds, formed from ancient colony starships, were ruled by an elite class, called houses, and their warriors pilot towering armored war machines known as knights. These noble pilots, the scions of their worlds, were bound by ancient oaths to protect the citizens who now call these planets home. So for millennia, the culture of these knights had flourished and were later reunited with the Imperium during the Great Crusade. They belonged to ancestral houses, each sworn to defend their homeworld. Their loyalty unwaveringly pledged to the Golden Throne of Terra and the enigmatic Adeptus Mechanicus of Mars. They were the embodiment of a forgotten era, warriors in gleaming armor who traced their bloodlines back to the cradle of humanity itself. These constructs are now, in the 42nd millennium, treated as powerful war machines, but were originally intended for construction, mining, and other less combative roles. In these towering war machines lay the heart of a noble pilot, a noble or a scion, who underwent a mysterious and sacred rite known as the ritual of becoming. In this ritual, flesh merges with metal, a union of mind and machine spirit, and only then could a noble truly command the throne mechanicum, which is the seat of control within the knight. Each knight was a colossal behemoth, standing 30 to 40 feet or 9 to 12 meters tall, a marvel of engineering and ancient craftsmanship. Their adamantine armor was hand-forged by skilled artisans, bearing intricate heraldry that told the tales of battles won and allegiances pledged. These warsuits came in various forms, but two were the most commonly seen in the battlefield, the Knight Paladin and the Knight Errant. Both balance maneuverability, protection, and firepower, making them the preferred choice for many noble houses. But there also exist many classes of knights, with the most notable being the Questores, the Cerastas, the Ascastas, the Dominus, and the Armiger Knights, created at different times and with different roles and armaments. Their origins lie during the Age of Expansion and during the Dark Age of Technology. These worlds were colonized by intrepid explorers equipped with Knight STC technology, machines that would safeguard their fledgling colonies. Over 15 millennia later, the descendants of these pioneers still called these Knight worlds home. Many noble houses had risen and fallen, but those that endured could trace their lineage back to the dawn of the Imperium. Each Knight world bore the weight of its ancient history, regardless of its location or technological advancement. These knightly houses aligned themselves broadly with either the Imperium as Questor Imperialis or with the Adeptus Mechanicus as Questor Mechanicus. Those connected to the Imperium paid their tithe like any other planet but maintained trade with the Mechanicus to maintain their knight suits. Knight worlds linked to the Adeptus Mechanicus often existed near the parent Forge worlds, and this proximity was by design. These Forge worlds were strategically founded near Knight worlds to harness their resources, and when the Titan legions marched forth from these Forge worlds, they were often joined by their allies from the Knight worlds. This partnership between the Forge and the Knight worlds proved beneficial, as their combined might could conquer worlds and shatter cities in the name of mankind. And then there are the Freeblades, which are not specifically aligned with the Imperium or the Mechanicus, but can be hired by both. So now the question arises as to how these 12 meters or 40 feet tall giant mechas are piloted. Well, firstly, the pilots are called Knight Scions, and they are distinguishable and exceptional individuals from their homeworld that are trained first as aspirants and gradually gain access to be linked with a knight armor. This extraordinary connection was made possible through a complex cybernetic interface known as the Throne Mechanicum, a relic dating back to the mysterious Dark Age of Technology. The process begins with the surgical implantation of neural interfaces sockets into the cerebrum and the cerebellum of the noble pilot's brain. These sockets served as the vital conduits through which the pilot's thoughts and intentions would be transmitted to the knight. Next, umbilical interface cords extends from the Throne Mechanicum, linking directly to the neural sockets within the pilot's brain. Through these neural interfaces, the pilot would form a neural connection with the knight's suit, effectively wearing it like a second skin. This profound link allows them to control the colossal war machine with thoughts, much like the mighty god engines of the Titan legions. Moreover, the Throne Mechanicum retains echoes of every noble who had ever bonded with it, carrying a legacy of their service and valor. It was not only a union of man and machine, but also a profound transformation of the pilot's psyche. They feel the machine as if it was their own body. They move the knight's limbs as if they were their legs and arms, and they feel the pain when the armor is struck by heavy weaponry. At the heart of every knightly stronghold lies a sanctuary, a colossal ancient structure that houses both the dormant knight armor and the revered ritual of becoming. Knights are potent war machines, but they are hollow shells until they are merged with the Scions. Through this neural link, knights are controlled, and their movements an extension of the pilot's will, akin to the fluid grace of the Eldari war engines. Although knights possess manual controls, these are rudimentary and mainly for maintenance or emergencies. In a sanctuary, young nobles undergo the transformative ritual of becoming within the Chamber of Echoes, imprinting their personalities into the Throne Mechanicum. This process, however, carries risk, as it can magnify their emotions, shaping the knight's behavior accordingly. Furthermore, the Throne Mechanicum subtly influences the noble's psyche, instilling deep values of fealty, obligation, hierarchy, and a reverence for their ancestors. These mysterious alterations serve to ensure the loyalty of the noble pilots and maintain the sacred bond between them and their towering knights. So in the heart of every sanctuary, atop a communion dome, lies a repository of the Throne Mechanicums, where they await the noble pilots. To initiate the connection, a noble sits upon their throne and triggers the protocol of joining. Umbilical cords link with their pilots, neural sockets, and a section of the chamber wall opens up. The Throne Mechanicum descends through transport tunnels, finally sliding into the cockpit of the knight armor, located in the Vault Transcendent, a massive hangar below the sanctuary. When noble, throne, and knight unite, a powerful synergy occurs, bringing the Imperial Knight to life. The colossal doors of the sanctuary open, and the knight marches forth to battle. This bond between the Throne Mechanicum and the knight suit is forged through centuries of warfare, enduring even beyond the pilot's death. In a legendary event in 854 of M40, during the defense of Gorvak's mining world, a knight from a house Kras continued the fight even after the pilot died due to an Eldari sniper. The Throne Mechanicum then undertook automatic control guided by the echoes of the pilot's past spirits and engaged in a heroic battle against the craftful Eldari's coast warriors. Ultimately, it did succumb to two other Wraith Knights, losing the battle but at the same time showing the enigmatic hidden feature of the knightly armor. So in the hierarchical world of the Imperial Knights, the ranks ascend in a structured order, with the lowest ranks at the beginning and the highest at the end. At the base of this hierarchy are the troop ranks, comprising valiant knights who form the backbone of each knightly house forces, which means they are passionate younglings. Above them are the knight apparents, newly initiated after the ritual of becoming, who earn their place as full-fledged Imperial Knights through their full-scale battle. Moving up, the ranks include the Knight Warlord, nominated when knights constitute the primary detachment of an army, often holding an archaic rank of a Celestial. And the Celestials are veterans, honored for their martial triumphs or heroic acts. Then we have the Barons, who hold their own lordly titles within the hierarchy, still pledging their allegiance to the High King or Princeps, with distinctions based upon influence and battle experience. Then we have the Kingsward, who serves as the guardian and trusted advisor to the High King or Princeps, leading an elite force of knights within the exalted court. Finally, at the pinnacle stands the High King, or in rare instances the High Queen, who rules over a Questor Imperialis Knight House or a Knight World where multiple houses owe allegiance, while the Princeps leads a Questor Mechanicus Knight House or a Knight World. So let's shift and talk about their weapons and then go into their effectiveness in battle afterwards. The Imperial Knights are equipped with a diverse and devastating array of weaponry to dominate the battlefield. Among their arsenal are close combat weapons like the Atrapos Last Cutter, which emits a powerful energy beam for armor penetration, and the Avenger Gatling Cannon, a rapid-fire weapon, effective against infantry and vehicles. Versatility is evident in the Battle Cannon, which launches explosive shells, and the precision of the Castigator Bolt Cannon is used for sniping high-value targets. Clearing infantry hordes is a task for the Conflagration Cannon steering flames. Then we have the Graviton Pulsar and the Graviton Singularity Cannon, which disrupts and immobilizes enemy vehicles, while the Imperial Missile Launcher offers flexibility against various threats. For close encounters, the Multi-Melter's intense heat cuts through enemy armor, and the Plasma Decimator deals with infantry and vehicles alike. Shield Breaker missiles weakens defenses from long range, and the Thermal Cannon as well as the Spear melts the armored targets. In melee combat, the Thunder Coil Harpoon pierces and immobilizes enemies, while the Volcano Lance obliterates the most resilient foes with a colossal energy beam. They can also hold swords and giant saw blades. So now we come to the battle formations. When the Imperial Knights go to war, various of these formations are meticulously crafted to unleash devastating might on the battlefield. At the pinnacle of power stands the Exalted Court, comprising of a house ruler, a select group of officers, and a high-ranking noble. Their presence alone heralds destruction, capable of leveling cities and decimating armies, and their titles and roles may vary among Adeptus Mechanicus and Imperium aligned houses. On the other hand, the Baronial Court represents an unstoppable force, a ground-shaking charge of near-titanic proportions. Assembled by a baron, this formation, also referred to as a baronial escort or a cavalier spearhead, is a near-impenetrable ionic shield wall. Knights march together, raining down death with their massive firepower, embodying the relentless power of the knights that has vanquished humanity's enemies since before the Imperium's birth. At the lower rung of the battle formations, which are lesser in power but still hella crazy or scary to the enemies, is the tripartite lance formation, developed by House Vulcar and embraced by other houses later on. This is a coordinated effort of 3 knights, a warden, a gallant, and a crusader. These knights fight as one, predicting each other's actions through their thrones mechanicum. The tripartite lance moves with surprising grace and unity, becoming a formidable unit that transcends individual capabilities. Then we have the gallant lance, which is a subset of this formation, charging with such force that it can shatter reinforced walls, and its knights are each a formidable killing machine. Lastly, we have the Sky Reaper lance, a formation equipping 3 knights with twin-linked Icarus autocannons, granting them control of the sky. Together they create a lethal net of anti-air firepower capable of drowning entire flying squadrons, leaving the battlefield littered with fallen aircraft and pilots. These battle formations showcase the versatility and devastating potential of the Imperial Knights. But that's not the end. They also accompany and give fire support to Imperial Guards and Space Marine detachments, as well as fight alongside armored tank convoys or assist the Greater Titans in gargantuan engagements like the ones in Beta Garment 5 during the Horus Heresy, where innumerable Titans and Knights from both sides, the traitors and the loyalists, were lost in that battle. Anyway, we have come to the end of our time with Knights for now. We will continue this later on. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this one. Do hit the like button for support and share this video with your grimdark friends, and push us through the YouTube algorithm. Please, the Omnisire. And yes, smash that bell icon for regular updates on new videos here on this channel. Take care, boys.